Running back gets a look at the Badgers against the Gophers and decides to rethink his commitment. We'll talk more about that with Ben Wargel at BadgerNation.com. I'm Adam Mertz, the Wisconsin State Journal and Madison.com. Ben, Corey Clement comes here, watches the game, has a change of heart in terms of where he wants to go to school.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see where this guy's commitment goes. Corey Clement, four-star kid out of New Jersey, very talented kid who committed to Pittsburgh in July. And he's like a lot of kids, kind of like we talked about Soldier and Shelton a couple weeks ago. He committed so early that he really felt he shortchanged himself in the process. And he went to Nebraska in September, also visited Notre Dame. It was presumed to be that Notre Dame was going to be the favorite for a long time, but he came to Wisconsin, got to obviously see a very vaunted running game against Minnesota, got to spend time with Monte Ball, spend time with the coaches, made a stop at Ian's Pizza on Francis Street, like a free sample for giving a shout out. So he kind of did some different things like that, and he flew home and was really excited about Wisconsin, the experience of Wisconsin, the running game, and all those different things. You know, Thomas Hammock has done a great job recruiting him for such a long period of time. Hammock really said that, you know, he could be the next Monte Ball, and so it was really important to get those two together. He apparently says that Wisconsin is right up there as one of his favorites, along with Notre Dame. You know, Nebraska really didn't jive with him very well. He may or may not visit Pittsburgh again, but it kind of seems like it's going to come down to either Wisconsin or Notre Dame. And, you know, we've talked before, Wisconsin likes to take a running back every year, and with David Williams out of Philadelphia kind of, you know, off the grid a little bit, Alex Collins apparently wanting to stay in the South, you know, it seems like Corey Clement could be the guy in this 2013 recruiting class for Wisconsin at running back. And
he's from New Jersey. Obviously, the Badgers have done good things at different times in New Jersey, but that's a nice pipeline to get into, is it not? I mean, he obviously being a great player to get your hands on, but just opening the doors in New Jersey again, I know that's been a focal point.
Yeah, it'd be really key for Wisconsin to get back in New Jersey and get, you know, a lot of talent. You know, Paul Chryst went there a couple years ago and got Joe Brennan, who's not with the program, and Sherrod Cadigan, who was supposed to be a very good tight end, but he's now the backup fullback to Derek Watt. And then in the last couple of years, it just hasn't been there for Wisconsin. But, you know, Clement is the all-time leading rusher in the South Jersey area, well over 5,000 yards, very, very talented player. You know, obviously a four-star kid. He's ranked number 26 in the country by Scout.com. So this is a very talented kid that Wisconsin would love to have. And, you know, when you can pull a kid, you know, away from, you know, an East Coast school like Pittsburgh and other East Coast schools that recruit him, that's obviously big, and kids are going to take notice of that, especially with the Ron Dane connection, which you're referring to.
Right. And, I mean, they had a lot of other players in this weekend, including some guys that are committed to other schools that may not change their mind, but can you run us through maybe any movement on that front from the weekend?
Well, the only other official visitor that weekend for Wisconsin football was Sean Harlow, a three-star kid out of California who's committed to Washington, you know, a couple months ago, and, you know, he's another kid that kind of wanted to take some more visits. Wisconsin was actually his first official visit. He's also going to go to Boise State. He's going to go to Washington. He's got another visit lined up that's escaping me at this point, but, you know, he wants to go see other places. He told me that, you know, he told us that just, you know, he thinks he's going to stick with Washington. He just wants to see other places. His relationship with Washington, unlike Clement with Pittsburgh, is very strong. He likes the coaching staff there, so I don't expect a big movement there. You know, Madison Memorial sent a couple of kids over. Darius Fountain was here, Jester Weah, Heartland Arrowhead had a number of kids here. George Panos obviously has come quite a bit. He's a Wisconsin commit. He brought two junior teammates, Matt Seitz, who's a linebacker, and Billy Hirschfeld, who's a good defensive end. He's could be the next, you know, I think, big player in the state of Wisconsin to probably get some scholarship looks. Hirschfeld was at Nebraska when Wisconsin was at Nebraska at the end of September. A bunch of kids, commits were here. You know, Chikwe Obasi was here, Keelan Brookins was here. They were holding the axe together after the game. Craig Evans was here from Sun Prairie. I spoke to Jay and Galt after the game from Monona Grove. So just important for Wisconsin commits to be here and talk to other kids. Marcus Collins from Madison La Follette was here. You know, so many kids. Preston Woods Jr., who's probably a big commit, a big prospect out of Minnesota. He was one of a number of Minnesota kids that were here. So, you know, with the 11 a.m. game, Wisconsin really tried to get some of the best players from in-state and from the surrounding areas, Minnesota and Illinois, here, and to certainly show them a good time and see a good game. And Wisconsin coaches certainly got that opportunity.
Thanks for the insight this week, Ben Wargel. You can find his work on BadgerNation.com.